Hi, in this video training of PHP, we will be learning about PHP strings and PHP numbers. A string is a sequence of characters like hello world. Let's look at some of the string functions that PHP offers us. Let's start with strlen function. It returns the length of a string. The PHP strlen function returns the length of a string. Let's look at a simple example which returns the length of the string hello world. Let's create a project file for this example. So I'm going to create php strings.php and let's start with the PHP tag and let's use the and hello world. Let's close the PHP tag, save the file. Now let's run the browser, Chrome, and I'm going to get the PHP courses and run the PHP strings. You see we have 12 on the browser because the hello world string contains 12 characters, and this function outputs the length of the string. The next function is the strwordcount. It counts words in the string. The PHP strwordcount function counts the number of words in the string words. Let's count the number of words in the string hello world. So I'm going to use the same file, and this time we are going to use the function strwordcount. Okay. Prints the length of the string, prints the words within the string. Okay, I'm going to comment this out. Let's run browse. You see we have 2 because there are 2 words within the hello world string. The next function is strrev function. The PHP strrev function reverses a string, reverse the string hello world. So let's use this function strrev function and let's pass it hello world. Okay, let's run it in the browser. You see it has reversed the hello world string. The next function is strpos function. It is used for searching a specific text within a string. If a match is found, the function returns the character position of the first match. If no match is found, it will return false. Let's search for the text world in the string hello world. Okay, reverses the string. Okay, find a match within a string. So what I'm going to do is echo str position. Let's pass the string. This is called haystack and this is called needle. Needle is the value that we want to find, and the text where we are going to search for that string is called a haystack. So let's run this example in the browser. See, it has returned 6 because it found the world string at position 6 of the string. Let me type in something that isn't present in the haystack in the program. It has returned false. That's why nothing has been printed on the browser. The next function is the strreplace function. The strreplace function replaces some characters with some other characters in a string. Let's replace the text world with dolly. So I'm going to run this code here. Okay, echo strreplace, and we are going to search for hello or world and replace it with dolly, and this is the haystack where we want to find this word hello world. And let's save the file, go to the browser. You see the function strreplace has replaced the string word world with dolly. Okay, that was about strings. Now let's move on to PHP numbers. One thing to notice about PHP is that it provides automatic data type conversion. So if you assign an integer value to a variable, the type of that variable will automatically be an integer. Then if you assign a string to the same variable, the type will change to a string. This automatic conversion can sometimes break your code. Let's look at PHP integers. An integer is a number without any decimal part. Another important thing to know is that even if 4 multiplies by 2.5 is 10, the result is stored as float because one of the operands is a float, that is 2.5. PHP has the following functions to check if the type of a variable is integer. The functions are isInt, isInteger, that is alias of isInt, or isLong, that is also an alias of isInteger. Let's look at a simple example to check if the value of a variable is integer. The type of a variable is integer. Going to create a new file, PHP numbers. Okay, let's clean this up. Okay, let's create a variable 585985. Okay, then I'm going to use vardom and the value of x. Yes, int. Alright, then I'm going to use float 5985, and this time we are going to use $x, int and $x. Okay, let's run this example in the browser. I'm going to say PHP numbers. You see the first is integer, return true because the first value is a pure integer 5985, and the second one returned false because it is a float. It is not an integer because it has a decimal value and it is a float. A float is a number with a decimal point or a number in exponential form. The float data type can commonly store a value up to 1 point. The hundreds of numbers that are platform dependent and have a maximum precision of 14 digits. PHP has the following functions to check if the type of a variable is float. The function is isFloat or isDouble, that is alias of isFloat. Let's check if the type of a variable is float. So I'm going to use the same function and I'm going to say isFloat. Let's run the program again, and this time you see it returned true because this is a float. check if the value in is float, check if the value in x is integer. Okay, a numeric value that is larger than PHP float max is considered infinite. PHP has the following functions to check if a numeric value is finite or infinite. So we have is underscore finite and is underscore infinite. Let's check if a numeric value is finite or infinite. Numeric value is finite or infinite. Okay, $x 1.9E411 and vardam $x, you see it returned infinite, so this value is considered as infinite. The next is NaN. NaN stands for not a number. NaN is used for impossible mathematical operations. PHP has the following functions to check if value is not a number. The PHP is numeric function can be used to find whether a variable is numeric. The function returns true if the variable is a number or a numeric string, otherwise false. Let's look at an example. It checks if the variable is numeric or not numeric. We copy this code from here. Okay. Comment this out, run. You see it returned true, true, true and false. So it considered this as an numeric, this as numeric, the third value also as numeric, but the fourth value it doesn't consider as numeric, and it returned false as an output. Let's look at PHP casting strings and floats to integers. Sometimes you need to cast a numerical value into another data type. The int, integer or int val functions are often used to convert a value to an integer. Let's look at a simple example for casting float and string to integer. Okay, let's try this within our code. Okay, I'm going to comment this out. Okay, so let's run this example in the program. It returned 23465 and 2363456. Basically, we started with declaring a x variable and assigning a float value to it. Then we typecasted this variable into integer and printed out the typecasted value, which returned 23465. It basically got rid of the value after the decimal point, that is 768, and it only contained 23465. Similarly, we typecasted string to integer, and this time we have the same number within the double quotes, so it is taken as a string, and then we typecasted this variable into integer and printed out the result. So it did the same thing as it did for the float value when it was converted into integer. So this was all about PHP strings and numbers. and a bit of typecasting concept. I hope that you have understood how numbers and strings work in PHP. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you next time with a new topic in PHP.